Up next on Access ONU, Robert Frost Elementary School joins the Olivet family. The Pokemon Go phenomenon continues across campus, and an ONU women's soccer coach takes his team home to lend a helping hand. You're watching Access ONU.
These are the stories impacting you on your campus. You're watching Access ONU.
Art, theater, geology, and education students might be going back to elementary school with Olivet's purchase of the former Robert Frost Elementary School in our Access ONU cover story.
Access ONU cover story.
There are some quirks to the former Robert Frost Elementary School, notably the small restrooms made for small humans, but it isn't children who will grace the halls of Robert Frost this year. Art students will begin attending classes at the former elementary school purchased by Olivet at 160 West River Street in Bourbonnais.
We're always looking for space, because we're kind of bursting at the seams a little bit.
The school was purchased this past spring from the Bourbonnais Elementary School District after the school was shut down because of a decline in enrollment.
Typical classroom, doesn't give us the room we need to work. So having that space specifically for us is really great because we can kind of tailor it more towards art studio classes where you need that room and need that space for storage of artwork.
Long-term plans about what to do with the space have yet to be made, but for now, art students are looking forward to having the extra workspace.
For me, it's really good to go to a new space to work on my art. I have my life, my school, my gen eds, whatever, my social life, but whenever I really need to get in the zone to make art, then it's really nice to have a different kind of location to do that. So I can kind of separate the two in my mind and be more productive on my art.
Relocating classrooms to the former elementary school is cost-effective for Olivet because the classes being moved are mostly lab spaces and art studios, which don't require much furniture.
Just really excited to have that space to utilize it, and we're glad that it was a good purchase, I think, by the university.
And I think it's gonna be more powerful, and it's gonna be more intentional.
In addition to the art department expanding its classrooms to the former Robert Frost building, the School of Education, geology classes, and the theater department will have some extra space to work with. With the purchase of the former elementary school, Olivet has some big decisions to make when it comes to expansion. Long-term plans about what to do with the space are yet to be discussed. After 15 years of leadership in the theater program, Professor Jerry Cohagen is taking a sabbatical in the spring. Adjunct Professor Ashley Sarver will fill in during Cohagen's leave. As Access ONU reporter Brandon Grossi tells us, she's already getting her feet wet by directing this semester's fall play.
Access ONU Backstage.
After 2 years, A Piece of My Heart has returned to the stage of Olivet Nazarene University. This play, written by Shirley Lauro, chronicles the true stories of 6 women who served in the Vietnam War. Professor A.E. Sarver of Olivet's theater department is directing the production.
We cast the show, and I'm super excited about the cast. It's very strong, and we've started rehearsals with just the females in the show, and we're about week 4 into blocking, and we've finished blocking Act 1 and Act 2, and it's going to be a very good show.
When she was an undergraduate student at Olivet, Sarver directed the 2014 production of A Piece of My Heart. The previous production allowed a small audience to join the actors on stage. This time, the audience will sit in the regular seats of Kresge Auditorium. There are several other differences between the two productions.
The bigger setting allows for lots of lights and lots of smoke and just big production. So we're still going to find intimate moments, but we're going to have more spectacle.
Sophomore Kelsey Davis portrays one of the nurses in the production. The female actors have much praise for their show and for their director.
Prof. Sarver is the life of the party. I'm excited just because I feel like even though, it was just, for an example, today one of our cast members was having a hard time transitioning between scenes, and Prof. Sarver had this really roundabout way of getting her to do it, and it was just really cool to see her connect.
Professor Sarver has been part of Olivet's theater department for 6 years. She started with notable roles in productions such as Doubt and Wit before moving on to become Cohagen's graduate assistant. In the spring of 2017, Cohagen will take a sabbatical, leaving Sarver to head the theater department. Sarver will also direct the spring musical Guys and Dolls.
Yes, the musical this spring is Guys and Dolls, and I'm pretty excited about that. Dr. Bowling will be in it, and so that's exciting. Also, a little nerve-wracking. I will be directing the university president, but pretty awesome opportunity.
Sarver will continue to serve as the head of the theater department until the return of Cohagen in the fall of 2017. With Access ONU, I am Brandon Grossi.
As Pokemon Go swept the nation this summer, some say it would never last. However, the app continues to top charts in mobile downloads. Logan Miller reports.
Since its release, Pokemon Go has become one of the most popular gaming experiences of all time. I got to catch up with a few ONU students to see how Pokemon Go was affecting their campus experience.
This is Santi, and one of his favorite things about Pokemon Go is that it gets you outside and gets you seeing things that maybe you wouldn't typically see.
My favorite part is just like all the sites that you have at Olivet. There's like 4 or 5 like Pokemon stops that like I can just hit up all day. So like I can go to one, and then by the time I walk to the next one, it's ready to go. And so I'm just rolling in the dough all day, you know. I got like unlimited Pokemon balls. It's pretty lit. I mean, for the procrastinator, this is the game for you. Like, it just takes your mind off of school. It's a real stress reliever. When you finally catch that Zubat that you've been trying to catch for years, it's the most rewarding feeling ever. I would say every one of my friends plays Pokemon Go. They, like, it's taking over their lives. It's kind of getting a little bad, a little addictive, but, I mean, they are more active, so...
As some of us may not know, Pokemon was a hit trading card game that originated in 1995. The company has since created the mobile app, hoping to capitalize on their once very young customers with a new app and a similar experience to catch 'em all. Kyle, a friend of Santi, also had things to say about how Pokemon Go is helping him get active.
Pokemon Go since day one, since it came out. Really, no, it's not a fad. It's like my exercise plan. I'm going to do it the rest of my life.
Admittedly, there have been many reported incidents of reckless behavior while playing the game and looking at a phone while moving. But, as most players have said, it's all in the name of good fun. Pokemon Go is fun, slightly addictive, and a throwback for the 90s kids. And it looks like it's here to stay for a while.
Pokemon Go has clearly caught on Olivet's campus, and it doesn't look like it's going anywhere anytime soon. For Access ONU, this is Logan Miller.
With hot-button social issues being talked about in the political arena, it's also important to talk about on our very own campus. Joining us now is one of Olivet's criminal justice work professors, Dr. Craig Bishop, and social justice intern, Avery Gutwein. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about Social Justice Club. Avery?
Yeah, so we're a club on campus that mainly is there to spread awareness about different social injustices around the world. We want to make sure that students at Olivet are aware of what's going on so that we can bring change to those issues.
What are some focuses that you have for this semester? Dr. Bishop?
Well, I would add to what Avery just said. The Social Justice Club on campus is a student-led club, and it's had quite the history. And what I'm seeing now is the students are leading to have even more exposure on campus to bring awareness to the issues. Over the last 2 years, their focus has been on human trafficking, with the idea that human trafficking somewhat umbrellas a lot of social injustice, a lot of different areas of concern. But the current club is really outstanding with leadership, and they're beginning to expand their vision of taking that awareness to a new level and starting to identify individual areas of concern of social injustice and try to empower the student body to be more aware and also to be more active.
And how are they working on empowering the student body?
A lot of that is bringing awareness and then trying to get them to join the club, because the more people we have, then the more things we're able to do with spreading that awareness.
And you talked about there's some issues that you see need more awareness. Could you talk about what those issues are?
Yes, currently we still do simultaneously have concern with the abolitionist movement, with stopping human trafficking. So the club is being empowered to collaborate with a lot of agencies in the community. So there's efforts there, but we are seeing the students starting to look at other issues of homelessness, hunger, food supply issues, and that's going to cause them to reach out and collaborate and partner with other events. Key events lately have been centered around human trafficking, and we have helped with a 5K run, Run for Their Lives, that was done through Second Place Church up in Moni, Illinois, and we've had the second annual Not So Super Bowl awareness campaign. And then also it's been the second year that we've partnered in support of Free the Girls, which is a organization that receives used and new bras that are then sent to third world countries where women who have been victimized by human trafficking are empowered to have their own business to sell those bras to, usually their clientele only women, so that way they're distancing themselves from men, but it gives them the opportunity of having that empowerment. And so our students are helping Free the Girls through having bra drives every year on the campus.
And have you seen good feedback from the Olivet community when hosting events like that?
Yeah, definitely. I know like a lot of girls like last year just didn't realize like when they started hearing about the bra drive for the first time last year, realizing like the need for those and the need for some type of way for these women that have been trafficked to get a living, make a living. And so that was really cool, like just eyes being open to the issue. And then once their eyes are open, then they're able to do something about it, which is also a really cool part of the Social Justice Club.
And you said you have the Not So Super Bowl on the horizon. Are there any other activities that you have planned?
Well, we've been in our meetings having discussions where we're inviting students to bring their ideas on what we would like to do. So I would say the Social Justice Club is very fluid. It's seeking to get participation from the student body to bring their voices as they're seeking to be ambassadors and advocates for those who are oppressed and bring those issues. We're willing to look at every issue, and then the club is able to empower those students to collaborate with outside agencies and services to really put boots on the ground per se and make it happen.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you for joining us today. We wanted to know what you thought about social justice issues, and this is what you had to say.
I feel like sex trafficking is actually such a big issue that a lot of people really do not understand or fully grasp that how major it is actually around this area.
Genital mutilation, that's something that kind of is more hush-hush. Things like education, worldwide, women have access to. There's a huge discrepancy in that, and it's something that I'm glad we've come to talk about so much more, but it's something we also need to be more informed about.
Ooh, feminism for sure. Because I think that oftentimes, it's kind of unfortunate to say, but it really is true. Traditionally, the church has been kind of against the whole, women standing up, and there's all those verses that can be, interpreted one way or another, saying that women shouldn't have a place to speak in the church, and that gives them a sort of disadvantage. I would love that to be addressed more directly, especially here on campus.
Diversity is probably something we need to talk about more. It's obvious that it's prevalent on campus, but we need to open the conversation instead of just keeping it in the rearview mirror.
The women's soccer team took the trip of a lifetime in August. It was especially important for their coach, who was going back home. Ali Alexi has the story.
Access ONU Sports.
Olivet women's soccer team takes a missions trip every 3 years. This year, it was to Kenya, where Coach Macharia is from.
But when I came on the team, and I've been coaching for 12 years, I thought, well, going back home kind of sounds, it's a dual benefit for me and for the team, because it's a place I know. So we're not finding someone to help us there. I can get the logistics done, but also that it being my home, they get to see my family.
While in Kenya, the team was able to build relationships with people in the community.
Mainly we focused on mission work. So while we were there, we visited a number of schools and churches.
We want to expose our kids to what life is like there. And so we do work with specific age groups, high school age group with the girls groups, to kind of allow our girls to see what their age mates will be doing.
We did very, very small construction work. We had painted a house for a family, and other than that, we just brought people together and women's rights, by playing soccer and stuff there.
The team was able to be impacted in multiple ways, as well as leave an impact on the community that they were in.
To make long-lasting relations, I believe in short-term missions a lot, because I was one of the kids who got changed due to short-term missions. But I also believe in the long term of them, that what you begin has a chance to survive us.
This trip definitely inspired me to continue on and to travel to different places, even in the United States, just as much as I can do to help and spread the word of God.
The team is giving us a way to bridge that gap between here and Kenya by hosting a fundraiser in order to further build relations with the community in Kenya.
We went to a church, it's called Mathare Church. This church has been there for so long. It's right in the middle of the slums. And they also have a small school there. But it's a slum school. It's a slum place. There's huge struggles over there. And our goal was thinking is, can we help them build a brick building that will host their church and will host their school, and the kids can have a safe place where they're protected, they're taken care of, and how can we do that?
The team is attempting to raise $10,000 for this project.
Do we think it's possible? We think God can do it. We can't. It's not like we have money and someone we're going to pick it up, but we believe in God that He will bring that money together.
For Access ONU, I'm Ali Alexi.
One of Olivet's spiritual life ministries, Save Our Streets, is on a mission to reach out to the homeless of Kankakee County. Alyssa Franklin joins us with one of the ministry's club leaders. Alyssa?
Access ONU Spotlight.
Thank you. Today we have with us Evan Shear from the Save Our Streets ministry here at Olivet. Evan, thank you so much for meeting with us.
Oh yeah, it's great to be here.
Yeah. So first question, what is the heart of this ministry?
So the heart of Save Our Streets is really to we work with the homeless in the community. So and we really try to be more local. We do stuff in Kankakee, a couple of things in Bradley and Bourbonnais, but mostly Kankakee, and occasionally we'll go to Chicago. But it's really just to bring sort of God's love to people living in the streets.
Nice. So what does a regular day of Save Our Streets look like?
So, right, there's regular days. We have different days. So usually like Mondays. So I guess I'll just say a trip to the shelter is usually we go in, the pastor does a sermon, and then they have a meal. So we'll either, sometimes we help serve that meal. Other times we are just there to eat with the people that are either living at the shelter, or some people just come for food. But it's really it's really cool to just eat with them and have a conversation, because some people they don't get contact from the outside world. A lot of times people walk by and not really talk to them at all. So it's nice to just kind of have a conversation and reaffirm that they have value just because they're a person and they exist, and they really enjoy that. So, and then when we're done, we go back to campus and continue doing homework.
Yeah, that's so nice. So, what is the greatest thing that you've experienced while being a part of this ministry?
Probably one of the greatest things I've experienced is building relationships with several of the people that I've met at the shelter. Actually, just last week, or I think it was Monday night, so somebody called me, and he was like, "Hey, it's been all summer. I haven't seen you. You know, we should go get coffee or something." And so we went to McDonald's, and we ended up just talking for like 4 hours, and it was just really great to meet up with old friends that you wouldn't really meet otherwise. So
cool. What church are you affiliated with the Save Our Streets ministry?
So our ministry runs through Olivet, through our Department of Spiritual Life, but we do different partnerships with Gift of God Street Church, which is in Kankakee. That's the shelter that we go to every week. And then there's a church called Asbury United Methodist Church, which we also go to and on Saturdays, and we do several things with them. So,
yeah, cool. Yeah. What are some new things that you guys are adding to the program this year?
One of the new things that I guess we did add it last semester, but it's still fairly new. On Saturdays, we work with Asbury to go to, there's a grocery store that they collect food from. It's like stuff that's like past the sell-by date, but it's still like good food. So the grocery store donates it to Asbury, and Asbury distributes it on Sunday morning to people that need food. So on Saturdays, we go and help them collect it and organize it and sort through, because sometimes they do throw in some like bad apples that are really bruised up, or like a potato that's just rotting or whatever. So we sort through and take out all the bad stuff, and then organize it so it looks almost like a grocery store.
That's so cool.
Asbury. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
That's one of our
Thank you so much for spending time with us today, meeting with me. It sounds like an awesome ministry. So back to you at the studio.
Thanks for joining us for the latest edition of Access ONU. If you have a story idea, you can email us at accessonu@Olivet.edu. Also, check out Olivet's student newspaper, The Glimmerglass, at glimmerglass.olivet.edu. See you next time.